Hey, hi, hello, welcome to September. We are kicking off September with a hurricane, so I'm gonna keep this pretty brief because I need to get back to hurricane preparations. Like getting all the loose stuff outside, inside, or tied down, or all that kind of stuff. Went to the grocery store and picked up some more food to tie us over through the weekend. And yeah, so Adalia is headed really probably straight for us, or close to straight for us, starting Wednesday, and then Thursday is supposed to be the worst. So by the time you see this, it will be over, but by the time I'm filming this, it hasn't started yet. So we're gonna chit chat for a little bit, and then I'm gonna get back to getting stuff prepped so that we'll be all good. They did switch school to remote for the next 2 days, so we gave the kids stuff to do at home. The homeroom teachers put stuff in the Google Classroom. All the special teachers, basically, like, we all contributed to a choice board, so they have different options. We didn't want to overwhelm the parents with, like, you know, tons of work to do when you're, like, again, trying to prepare for hurricanes, possibly like leaving and evacuating and all that kind of stuff. So that's the story. That's all I got. So we're gonna meet online Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday was already an e-learning half day because my district has changed half days to e-learning days, which is so much better because half days are a complete waste of time. You get nothing done. Like, basically the kids come, they eat breakfast, they eat lunch, they go home. Like, no point. So e-learning half days, they stay home and they have work to do, and then some schools do like virtual stuff and some schools just do like packages. It just kind of depends on what's going on. So that was already scheduled for Friday. So currently the teachers are still supposed to go into the building for that. That could change depending on how much damage there is during the storm, so we'll see. And then Monday is Labor Day, so we were gonna be out of school anyway. So my principal is basically like, see you next week, like literally a week from now. So that's what's going on right now. Anyway, happy September. We're gonna talk about how August went, some things we're thinking about. I need to make a list because y'all gave me some really good ideas for this month. So I need to decide what we're gonna talk about in a brief amount of time because we got stuff to do. I, however, am not ready for fall, as you can tell. So just, you know, FYI. If you're like, Becca, why are you wearing a floral bright, like, beachy dress? Because I'm not ready for fall. I don't want it to be fall. And also, it doesn't feel like fall. Well, today's not bad. Today it's like not bad at all. But usually, like the other days, it's been like really, really, really hot. So there's that. Okay. All right, new angle. Hopefully this works out because I left my tripod upstairs and I did not want to go back upstairs and get it. So you're on my desk and we've got you propped up on some candle holders, but it's fine, it's fine. You know, there's videos that you like are everything must be perfect and great, and then there's coffee chats, and that's why I like the coffee chats. I didn't fix my makeup, I didn't fix my hair, although I think it looks pretty good. Also, I'm just gonna tell you, I cut my hair this weekend. I cut 7 inches off. I was just gonna do like a trim, and then it just kept being more and more and more. So 7 inches, it was like way down here. Cut 7 inches off. Nobody's noticed, not a soul. Like, I went to church, I went to school for 2 days, no one has said anything. The only comment I've gotten is one person said my hair looked nice, and then somebody else, one of the older ladies at church was like, Becca, your hair's getting really long. And I was like, I cut 7 inches off of it yesterday. And she was like, oh, I don't see you very often. Okay. So I'm just gonna save you. Nobody from my stories mentioned anything. So that was kind of disappointing because I feel like it looks a little different, but I guess it's still long and brown. So, you know, there we go. Anyway, it's almost September. Yowza. August was like the craziest month. I feel like I say that a lot, but August was a really crazy month. We had, first of all, school started at my new school. I've had nothing but problems since I got there. It's been crazy town. It's been like, I still can't access like my grade book or rosters or like get a sub or like do any like the digital things. I just got added to the email list this weekend, so that was nice because I wasn't getting anything they were sending to like the whole staff. Like a month later, the air conditioner in my room was out for a month. It just got fixed on Friday, and by out I mean like it was 95 degrees in my classroom. I managed to get COVID in August during the first full week of school. I literally was like, I haven't even met these children, and I had to be out for like 4 days. And then, you know, also I felt like crap. And so like, it was just, it was a lot in August. Traveling around to teachers' classrooms and sub plans for kids I don't know, and just, you know, just all sorts of stuff, It was a mess. But even with it being a mess, it still wasn't bad. Like, I've kind of enjoyed it and enjoyed myself. And a lot of you asked, you know, I always ask for copy chat topics on Instagram. And so some of you asked, like, especially Zoe. Zoe's always asking me how the new school's going. And y'all, even with all the problems and all the weirdness of like, I don't know these kids, and so I have to like, I'm going from, I know all 600 of these students since they were kindergartners or first graders, to I don't know any. I knew like 20, I think is what I counted. So there's about 5 that used to go to my old school, and then there's about 15 that went to my summer camp. But like, you know, basically don't know anyone, and I still really love it. I'm like, knock on wood, really scared to commit to that feeling, especially like this early on, because, you know, there's like a honeymoon phase and stuff. But honestly, with all the stuff that's gone wrong, I feel like if it was just the honeymoon phase, that I would be over it. But I actually really like it. It has been so much less stressful overall. I have more planning time. Everyone is like nice and friendly, and not that my old school wasn't friendly, but this school just seems to be more of like a bond. They have a lot more like systems and processes for how things should go, and people who have been there for a long time, so they like have context, versus I'm used to like getting basically a whole new staff every couple of years, which basically means starting over every few years. I mean, literally I've been through like 3 or 4 full staff turnarounds, or half staff, or 3/4 of the staff. Like pretty much everybody left, got pretty much a whole new staff multiple times. And I cannot tell you how hard that is. So just like things like that have just been really nice. The kids so far are really sweet. I mean, of course there's difficult ones, and of course there's more difficult classes than others, but like overall as a whole, it's been really good. And even with the kids that are maybe more difficult, there might be like, you know, 1 or 2 or 3 in a class instead of like 10 in a class. So yeah, and there's so many things that are different, and so many things that are nice, and then some things that like, it's really interesting how much knowing my kids really well made such a difference, in that like basically I told them all the time, like, you should be able to read my mind. And they could kind of read my mind, not fully obviously, but they could, you know, they knew what I meant when I said certain things. And like the other day in 3rd grade, usually if the kids are gonna sing a song without me, I'll say, "Here you go," on their starting pitch, and then they start. And so yesterday in 3rd grade, I was like, all right, so y'all are gonna sing it by yourself this time, you don't need my help anymore. And I said, "Here you go," and they went, "Here you go," and I was like, no, you sing the song. Here you go, sing the song. And just little things like that. Like there's just so many things that you don't realize that you do, or that you mean a certain thing. And so like the kids, like they just get used to that after a while. And so it's just really interesting going to like, you literally don't know me at all. And so I told them the other day, I was like, look, right now you can't read my mind, but we're working on it. That's what we're going towards, is you gotta be able to read my mind. So August has been very interesting, real crazy. And now we're ending it with a hurricane. So, you know, here we go. And with COVID, out with a hurricane. I'm fine, by the way. It wasn't fun, but I'm fine. And anyway, so in August, a couple of things. Book-wise, I finished Julie Andrews' autobiography, Home, and then I also read her autobiography, Homework. So Home is like the first half of her life through her Broadway years, and then Homework is like basically Mary Poppins on, so all of like Hollywood stuff, and it was fascinating, I have to say. Really recommend, especially the early one. If you're a singer, there were some really actually like useful singing tips and like performing tips in the first one. I don't think she meant for it to be like that, but that's what it was, and it was really helpful. So I would highly recommend that. And then I thought we would add our like my DIY projects in here, because just to help keep me accountable, to make sure that I'm doing something, because I found that when I do DIY projects and like crafts and paintings, like it just really lights me up. And so I'm trying to put things into my life to make sure that I actually do that. So this month I had a painting day with my mom, and we started redoing what was the exercise room and is now gonna be husband's office. So we're moving him in there. We painted the walls. We need to do a second coat, and then we're actually gonna go in just a little bit and get trim for his office, because I figured that probably they're not gonna be open like the next 2 days. And so we wanted to do that this weekend. So there's that. My exercise bike and stuff has been moved into that like loft area that was his office. And so it's gonna be like couches. We're gonna put the TV back up, because there used to be a TV up. And then the like exercise bike, I might get like a screen to put it behind, because it's not the most like visually appealing, and it's like right there in the open. And we're gonna get like a pull-out couch, so we have like a guest bed and stuff like that. So that's the plan for over there. That wasn't originally on my like DIY list for this year, but now it is. And then that brought more things, because now I really want to do built-ins in the loft area, but I don't think that's gonna happen till like next summer. I want to do like built-in bookshelves with like cabinets underneath to store stuff. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Not for a very long time though, so we have many other things that will happen before then. TBT wise, this year has in general not been fantastic. This is gonna be the first month though that I make less than this month last year, which is still like a decent amount, but it's like I'm currently, it's the 29th, and I am thousands below what I was at in August of last year. So that really sucks. There's this, like the TBT back to school sale was very sad for me. It was not nearly as good as last year. The bonus sale is happening now. So we're on day 1 of the bonus sale, and today, as of now, we're at about half of what I made on the first day of the sale last year, and it's like 6 o'clock. So I don't have super high hopes about that. We'll see how tomorrow goes, but like, I mean, I'm not expecting to make anywhere near as much as I did last year, and that's really sucks. And part of it is things that I could control. So like promotion wise, I promoted my back to school boot camp for music teachers way too close to the first sale, and so I think that hurt my sales for the first sale quite a bit. And then I think a lot of it is economy and like that kind of stuff that's really out of my control. So I'm kind of brainstorming right now, like what can I do that's in my control for the next few months. Trying to work on updating. So I have been like updating some covers and updating some descriptions and titles and all that kind of stuff. And I want to continue that and do more of that. It's really a good feeling, I will say, when you take a product from like, I can't even look at this cover, it's so ugly, I can't believe there's that many links in the description, like horrible, to like beautiful and updated and has a preview and a video preview and like all the things. So that felt really good. I did quite a bit of that this month, and I have a few more that I want to get done this month, and then that's going to be like a big thing for now through the end of the year. And then really looking at data and figuring out like what data points are important and how they can help drive, you know, what I do. And then content, because if I can send more people to my products, that's gonna be better, with the caveat of not stressing myself out. that's something that both at school and at home I'm really working on right now. It's just like, I don't want to stress myself out. So not, you know, requiring myself to do a bajillion videos because I don't want to stress myself out. And at school, I'm not stressing about, you know, having the most perfect, wonderful lessons every single week, because I don't want to stress myself out. I've been working on my, like, y'all, it's a month in, I still haven't finished my classroom. Like, I laminated a whole bunch of stuff today that I want to put up. Like, I'm not stressing about it. And yes, like, I want to do a good job, and yes, I want to, you know, teach the kids and be effective and all that kind of stuff, but I'm trying to approach it in a less stressed out way than like everything must be perfect and, you know, like all of that kind of stuff. So just really trying to like ease into everything and not stress out as much. So that's where we are. I had a couple of, I always ask again for your thoughts on what we should include in the coffee chats, and I just pick a couple. So I have 4, we probably will only have time for 3. We're gonna go with 3. I was asked about the my new like weekly routine. I'll do a video on that, so we'll skip that one. But the other 3, one really quick, someone asked, do you still have the cha-chings on your phone? Yes, it's like the best sound ever. However, I will say that my phone is on vibrate for like 99% of my life. I rarely turn the sound on, just because I get cha-chings. And, you know, like at school, I don't want my phone ringing, and just like, I'm not usually in places where I want my phone ringing. So I do keep the sound off pretty much all the time. But when the sound's on, it's really nice. I was also asked, should I tell you who the, oh, let me be a good person and tell you who these people are. Okay. The cha-chings was from Geometry and Jokes. VW Snyder asked how I wake up early. So the biggest thing for me is that you have to have a reason to wake up early or you're not going to do it. So I have been really strict with myself this year of 2 alarms. First one I snooze and I kind of like think in my head about like the day, and then the second one I get up. If I slip on that, I will continue slipping on that. So I have to really, really be on myself about that. Number 2 is like, you have to have something to do. So I get up early and I immediately go work out. That helps wake me up, and it also helps me have a reason to get out of bed, because I know if I don't do it then, I'm not gonna do it at all. And then, you know, I have business stuff to work on and things like that. So that helps. Having a dog crawl on top of you and whine in your face makes it a lot easier to wake up in the morning. I'll give you one guess as to which one that is. Yeah, and then making sure you go to bed at a decent hour. I'm really trying to like start getting ready for bed at 10 o'clock nowadays. It was getting closer to 11, and I find if it's 11, it's just too much. So I've been really trying to do 10. And then the other thing is, don't try to like wake yourself up way earlier. If you normally wake up at 7, don't go and like try to wake up 4 a.m. tomorrow. Like, no. 7, do like 6:30. And then do that for a few weeks, and then do like 6 for a few weeks. And then do like 5:30 for a few weeks. And, you know, see where you land and what works best for you. I used to wake up at like 4:30, 4:15, and I loved it, but I was so freaking tired. So I don't do that anymore. And I kind of wish that I could, because I liked having that much time in the morning, but it just wasn't best. And then let's see, Miss Alami's classroom. I don't know. This is why I don't like to say people's handles. They're hard to read because, you know, it's like I don't know where the words end. Asked, I want to create things outside of my niche. Should I? Oh, that's a loaded question. That would also make a good video, so we might make that one. Thank you for the suggestion. I need all the video suggestions you can give me, by the way. But here's my thought. If you are thinking about doing something outside your niche, or especially if you made something for your kids that's outside your niche and you want to see how it does, go ahead and post it and just see what happens. And it might take off and do really well, and it might be that nobody buys them. I have some things in my store that were kind of outside of my niche that did really well, and some that did really horribly, and I never made them again. But
you know, post one, maybe post two, and just kind of see how it goes. Give it like 6 months and then look at it and see, okay, is this something that is going to become my niche or a part of my niche? Is it something that's really far away from what I'm doing, so I need to like make a second TPT shop? Is it something I want to keep doing? Do I feel passionate about that? Like, think through all those things. I don't think there's anything wrong with trying it out, especially on TPT, because even though, yeah, niches are what you should do in TPT, it's not as fussy as some other websites are about like being super specific. So I would say go for it and see how it goes. And you know, you might love it and you might not love it. And there's only really one way to find out, is post it and see what happens. So that would be my suggestion for that. And maybe we'll make a whole video and go more deeper into the details. I would love to know how your August went. Is there anyone else whose sales are like not exciting at all this year? I would love to know that. I would also love fiction book recommendations, because I have had the hardest time trying to find a good fiction book this month. Like, I finished my Chanel Cletons, and then after that it's been like I just can't find anything. I started like 3 things on Kindle. I'm not interested in any of the books on my shelves. I'm just like, I got nothing. So leave me those down below in the description, as well as any of your video ideas and all that good stuff. So I'm gonna go measure the walls and do some hurricane prep, and I'll see you later. Bye.